Hi, everyone, and welcome to Learnosity's series of on-demand webinars. Thank you for joining us today for our first long-term support webinar of 2025. For any viewers unfamiliar with our long-term support releases, they're strong, complete, and stable versions of our APIs. 3 times a year, we release these production-ready versions of our APIs, which are then supported for 2 years. My name is Audrey Young, and I am a Learnosity product manager based in California. Later in the webinar, I'll also be joined by my fellow product manager, Monet Slanowski, and our SVP of product, Michael Sharman. AI is transforming learning. To thrive, learning platforms need to adapt. That's why Learnosity is already shipping your AI roadmap. As the global leader in AI-optimized assessment solutions, Learnosity invests heavily in R&D to stimulate new ways of imagining the assessment experience for product owners, creators, and learners. Our latest major release showcases a batch of AI innovations developed by AI Labs, our trailblazing team of developers and AI specialists that will enable you to swiftly put AI's promise into practice. Let's just briefly run through what's new from our release on the 5th of March. In AI, we'll talk about major upgrades to Author Aid and Feedback Aid. Author Aid now offers smarter authoring with RAG, can generate items in bulk and translate items in bulk. And Feedback Aid has a host of expanded capabilities that we'll explore. In authoring, branching activities just got easier. In STEM, we've got multimodal math captured via mobile devices, hints for math questions, and a try again button is now available for the math question type. In grading, we'll introduce Learnosity grading, which provides total control over manual grading. And in accessibility, we've got greater perceivability for screen reader users and more operable drag and drop questions. Let's start with AI. In our AI releases, the game changer authors have been waiting for. AuthorAid now generates up to 25 questions at once, giving content creators a major productivity boost. Now let's hand it over to Michael for a demo.
Now we're going to specifically look at bulk item generation. I'm on the homepage of AuthorAid here. I'll go into multiple choice. Now there's a drop down here, a picker you see on the left-hand side. Instead of the default 1 item that we have today, you can now generate up to 25 items. Now, there are many reasons why you might want to create more than 1 item based on the topic, the standard, the learning outcome that you have in mind. Typically, you'll want some variety in your item bank so you can choose which items are going to be delivered to students in an assessment. In this instance, I'll choose 25. I won't put any source material in. I'm just going to put a topic in based on the sciences, the role of mitochondria in cellular energy production. And maybe this time I'll just do straight recall. I'll do Bloom's knowledge. Then I will click generate. Once I've generated, I come back to the homepage and I can review AI generated items. This might take a couple of minutes depending on how many items you choose to generate. Once done, I can see the topic that I generated, the time I generated it, and I can see 0 of 25. This is indicating that you haven't yet saved any of the items that have been generated. You haven't reviewed any yet. And you have 30 days to view them until we delete them from the system. This will fit in with your authoring workflow. Once I'm ready, I can come in and view the task, and I will be presented with all 25 items that were generated. Of course, I can see the correct answer, the incorrect answer, and the rationale that were created for you. We automatically generate a topic for the items, and then once ready, you can choose any of the items in particular, or all of them, and you can add them to your item bank. It is only now that they are saved, ready for use.
Extend your content effortlessly. AuthorAid lets you translate 20 items into more than 40 languages so you can reach a global audience with ease. Let's take a look with Michael.
To translate items, it's a very similar process. Go to the homepage of AuthorAid, click Translate Items, choose the destination language that you want to translate to. We have 43 to choose from. In this case, I'll just do French. Now choose the items you wish to translate. In this instance, I'll just do a few items, but you can do up to 20 at one go. Click Translate. Same process, will come back to the home page, giving you a message to say, come back and review in a couple of minutes. How long? Well, it depends on how many items you're translating. But once you're done, you can come to review AI generated items. And I can see I have 2 tasks. Firstly, the bulk task I did on the sciences, and secondly, the one that I just kicked off for translating 3 items to French. As usual, I've got 30 days to review them. I can come in, look at each one. In this instance, we have a different interface. We have the original item on the left-hand side and the translated item on the right-hand side. You can then choose all the items that you want and add them to your item bank.
Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG, is now available for Author Aid as a beta release. Simply upload your content, and our AI-driven RAG will use it as a foundation to quickly and efficiently generate high-quality items. Let's take a look with Michael.
Thanks, Audrey. Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. This is a new capability we are releasing in beta for 2025.1.LTS. And what it is, it allows authors to upload a PDF and then have Author Aid use that PDF, the content within that PDF, as the basis for item generation. Let's have a look how this might work. Right now, I'm in Author API. We've got a button here that will open up Author Aid. That is only one of the ways that you can open up Author Aid. Now I'm going to go into multiple choice. We have a picker here where I can choose how many items you want. I'll talk about that in a moment. I'll just choose 5 for now. Now, as usual, you can paste or type in source material, but I'm going to choose this new option, File. Now, I don't have any resources yet. I haven't uploaded anything. So firstly, I'm going to upload my file. Now, we support PDFs up to 100 megabytes in file size. First time you do this, we need to upload the file and examine it. We need to index the file. Once we've done that, we can add a topic and start using that to generate content. Now that my file is uploaded, I can enter a topic. Now in this instance, I'm going to enter something that is obviously inside the document. In this case, production costs and market structures in modern retail. Now what I can do as well is I can add my usual criteria down here. Bloom's taxonomy, grade, subject, those sorts of things. I'm going to leave those as they are, and then I'm going to click generate. So right now I can see the one task that I generated. It was based on production costs and market structures in modern retail, the date I ran it, and I can see I have reviewed 0 of 5 items. And as I come in to view those, I will see 5 items, all based off content that were in the document. As usual, we have our distractor rationale, the feedback, the rationale for the student as to why the question was right or wrong.
Thanks, Michael. Now we can talk about the expanded capabilities for Feedback Aid. Feedback Aid just leveled up. It now detects off-topic essays and low-quality submissions, supports 10 languages, features specialized models for elementary and high school, and includes a docx to HTML utility for easier grading. Let's take a look at it in action. First, we've added functionality to better suit your existing workflows. Feedback Aid natively understands HTML and plain text. However, many student essays are submitted as Word documents, so we've added a docx to HTML conversion utility. This converts the Word documents to a format Feedback Aid understands. I'm going to add my essay in here. We're going to see it upload. As we can see, the file is instantly recognized and processed with the learner response from the Word document now displayed in Feedback Aid's UI. Also on this screen, you'll notice another exciting enhancement, our responsive rubric design. This accordion view here makes grading and reviewing a better experience on mobile devices and small screens, while still providing the strong human-AI interface interaction of the full screen version. Next, let's take a look at our new model options. First up is topic checking, where an essay is flagged as off-topic if it's unrelated to the essay prompt. You are able to configure the sensitivity of this option. When the response is unrelated, the engine returns a not scorable message. Here, the essay was about work, when the question was about distance learning, and so we've marked this unscorable as a 0 or perhaps a return to learner for review. What we can do, though, of course, given the teacher is in control, they can always come, turn it on not scorable, and then mark it as normal. Next up is the structure check to determine if the essay matches the required structure. Currently, it's checking the number of paragraphs. Here, for example, there's 5 paragraphs. If a minimum of 5 paragraphs were required, this would do fine. But if there was an essay that was only 1 or 2 paragraphs and the minimum was 5, we would flag that as well. And it's very useful for flagging to graders and learners when an essay isn't meeting minimum requirements of the assignment to help them improve in that area. Finally, we're very excited to now offer feedback aid in 10 different languages: English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Chinese, Indonesian, Japanese, and Korean. You'll see the French example here. This is also configurable, which allows you to offer a fully internationalized grading experience, or a useful option for language learning, where the feedback can be given in the learner's native language while the response could be in the new one. Our next exciting feature is in the authoring domain. This new UI lets authors easily create and edit branching activities to deliver more personalized learning experiences. Let's take a look. So we are going to create a branching activity using the new branching editor UI. So I am here on the activities page. I can go and I can create a new branching activity, clicking this button. For now, we're going to open an existing one just to save a little bit of time here. So here I am. This is the new UI. So what we see in front of us, we have what we call the item canvas here. And then on the right here, we have the item tray. These are items I can go in and I can use the item picker and find items to move them to the tray or create them just like I would for a regular activity. And any items that I add or create end up in the tray here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, I can click one or I can click all of them, and I'm going to move them over to the canvas now. Now each of the items, if I scroll in a little bit here, they have the step ID on them, but they're the same items from the tray. And if I scroll in, I can see the item reference up here, as well as what kind of item it is. Now in a branching activity, of course, it is a type of adaptive. And so I have a few different options. It's the kind where when the learner responds to a question, based on their response, they will see a different question. So in a normal activity, a non-branching one, it's pretty defined. I have one item and then the next item. So for example, I would just have item 1 and then item 2, and I always go from item 1 to item 2. That's called a basic type of branching, and that logic is done there. If I want to say when the learner gets question 2 here, right, if they're correct, I want them to go to item 3, I can do that. So I have a couple of options. I can drag the arrow over here, or I can just click the pencil at the top here as well, and that will open the same branching logic. So here I don't want a basic, I want to do a conditional branching type. So when I am correct, I want to go to step 3. And when I'm incorrect, I want to go to step 4. Then I click apply and I see that that happens. Now this looks a little bit confusing. I'm going to click the auto align button, and there we go. I have a good view of my assessment so far. Let's go down here. We're going to go to step 4. Again, we can zoom in and I can click the pencil to turn on the branching logic bit. And I'm going to use a different branching type. I'm going to call it global score. So if my score for the assessment so far, so answering these 3 items, is above, let's say, 60%, then I want to go to the end of the assessment. Otherwise, let's go to item 5 and apply. And we can see that there. Finally, I think I have one more item here. Yep, there's item 6 down there. So let's say if I am at step 3 or step 5, let's do something similar. If I get step 5 correct, I'm going to the end of the assessment. If I get it incorrect, I'm going to go to step 6, apply. And we auto align again. And we can see here our assessment. So we start at 1. If you always, every learner sees item 1 and then sees item 2. If you're correct, you see 3 and then the assessment ends. If you're incorrect, you see 4. If your score is less than 60%, you keep going. If it's higher, your assessment ends. If you get it incorrect, you then see item 6. And we can see that in full screen mode here as well. So it's a very powerful, very interactive authoring interface that will allow all kinds of authors to build these assessments and really personalize learning for the students.
Thank you, Monet. Next up in our STEM releases. Learners can snap a photo of handwritten math with their mobile device and insert it directly into the response box, reducing friction and keeping the focus on problem solving. Building upon our feature to submit handwritten math using a desktop camera, we can now scan a QR code to submit responses with a mobile device. When we click to enter a response, we'll see a camera button in the top right corner of the keypad. Upon clicking that, we'll see two options on how we want to capture the image. For mobile devices, we'll want to click via QR code. As the QR code pops up, you'll want to scan this QR code on your mobile device to capture the image. Once scanned, a link will pop up where you can submit a photo of your handwritten math. When that is accepted, your response will enter into the response field where you are able to edit as needed. Next up, we've added hints to math questions. Authors can easily create and display hints within the authoring template, while learners get seamless support during math assessments. Hints are now available out of the box for 3 math question types to help ease the authoring process. In this example, using the multi-step math question type, we see that we have a question here for the student to solve. If we wanted to add hints, we would navigate to the More Options section, and within there, navigate to the Hints section, where authors can now provide step-by-step instructions to help students solve a question and support their formative learning journey. Hints are customizable using the rich text editor, allowing you to format text, insert images, and include mathematical expressions. On the learner side, the hints will show up as a button underneath the question that they can click, and upon clicking it, it will show them the hints that are available for them to help solve the question. In our last feature for STEM, by adding the Try Again button to our math question type, learners can now generate a fresh data set for each attempt. This feature encourages repeated practice to deepen understanding. Try Again is now available for our math question type, which utilizes our enhanced math scoring engine. Using dynamic content to generate a fresh set of data for the same question, Try Again gives students the opportunity to further their learning by tackling multiple tries of the same question. Now let's pass it over to Monet for our next topic.
Thanks, Audrey. So now we're getting into our grading releases. Our new manual grading API is now available on request, providing a seamless way to review responses, assign grades, and give feedback on any question type, including those not supported by auto-scoring. It also allows you to override existing auto-scored results, ensuring full control over the grading process while delivering the best possible guidance to learners.
To demonstrate our new grading API, we're first going to take a quick assessment. Now, the grading API is really giving us out-of-the-box grading for all question types. So we're going to see a quick demo of a bunch of different question types in this assessment. That was just a video. Now we're seeing drawing. We're seeing an audio recording question type. This is our MCQ, our essay type, and then a math question type here. Now that we've submitted it, we're going to see the new API in action. So on the left, the learner item is shown in review mode alongside with the response. And then on the right, we have the new component for grading. So we see there is a place to enter the score, as well as there is a place to enter feedback. Now what this does is it is going to store the score and feedback with the response in the Learnosity DB. This creates a simplified, streamlined grading workflow that works for all question types. So I can go in, I can give this a grade, perhaps a 7 out of 8, and then I can add my comment, and I know that that will be saved with the learner response. Continuing on, again, we said this works for all question types, non-auto-scored and auto-scored. Well, for an auto-scored question, I can go in as the grader and I can adjust that score, give it a manual score. But the exciting thing is that while the manual score becomes the response score, the auto score is maintained and retrievable in a different score slot. Down here, we see we have the option to edit the max score at grading time, which just creates more flexibility for the grader. I can go in, I can click the pencil here and adjust the maximum score available, and then score the learner as normal. This is a clean component for grading that you can leverage in your system, and contact your CSM for information on how to use.
Moving on to accessibility. Our latest audio player enhancements improve the experience for screen reader users by offering clearer announcements, better labeled buttons, and smoother navigation. Finally, screen reader support is now more consistent when focusing, selecting, and dropping response containers with math, images, and tables in various drag and drop question types. And that concludes the overview of our first long-term support release of 2025. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Customers can log a ticket at help.learnosity.com. If you're not a customer, feel free to email us at team@learnosity.com. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you.